All right. Welcome, beautiful souls. How are you doing tonight? Hey, we're doing something a little different. We're doing the A7 group chill and chat. Don't really have a topic tonight. We're just going to let it kind of flow organically and see what happens, see where it develops and where we go. Everybody send some love to Theresa. She is wiped out. She needs some R&R. She's been busy packing and preparing for a move, and she just is wiped. So send her some good energy. She sure would appreciate that. And if you're out there watching, hey, bestie, good to see you. Hope you're getting some rest. But here we are tonight, and I thought, let's go ahead and see who's in chat. Chloe. Hi, Chloe. Good to see you. Always a pleasure. Hi, Lucky Stone. I like that. Happy Friday, faithful friends and fabulous favor. The 4F or the 5 Fs. I like that. Nice.
Clever
guy. Love it. Let's see who else is with us. I don't miss anybody. Seeker of Truth. Good to see you. Welcome always. Steve. Good to see you as well, brother. Nice to have you with us. Wonderful, wonderful. Loretta Enigma is driving, so she's going over the hill. She'll have to catch us on the flip side. No worries there. Please drive safe. Let's see who else.
There's Theresa.
Oh, okay. Listening. Okay. Drifting in and out. Okay. Happy
Good.
La La Land for you. Get some rest. I know you need it. She's been burning the candle at both ends. So yeah.
Man.
Well, you guys, I thought maybe tonight what we would start off with, and I hope you all had a great week. Sophia, things settling for you as well?
Yeah, a lot of painting, a lot of studying,
a
lot of crafting.
That's good. Yep.
And it's been a busy week.
And it's what?
Been a busy week.
Yeah. Lots going on.
Yeah.
So you're settling into your new place there at Camp Chesterfield. How are you liking that?
I could not be happier. I put up a paint color in the main room that Terry Ryan had picked out to kind of incorporate his, imprint on the house.
Nice.
And the new good news for Camp Chesterfield's out, campchesterfield.com.
Ooh, cool. Here, let me highlight that for you.
Came out this morning is when I guess we got a copy of it.
Nice.
So anything in here in green is online participation. Anything in black is in person. If you have questions, just drop it in chat. If that's okay. I don't think Laurie cares.
No, it's all good. No, you're fine. Heck yeah. Anything to promote Camp Chesterfield. We're big supporters and lovers of Camp Chesterfield. Yeah.
Thank you.
Amazing things. So, and a well-needed community for sure. Yeah.
Great.
Hey, last week when we got off the show, I knew Terry is with you. And as soon as we started talking about him, what happened? What happened behind you?
I guess did the light go off? Is that what happened?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Can't confirm I was there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right? Yeah, you saw it.
I mean,
that creeped me out.
I could feel his energy. I just knew he was there. And it was like, just to turn it off and go, yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
He's been showing up, and I welcome that. That's what, having a seance room in that house is all about.
Yeah.
So the drum circle, the Friday before Mayfest on, I think it's the 16th, the turnout may be so big that instead of drumming in the seance room, we may be drumming around the labyrinth so people can walk the labyrinth while we're drumming.
Oh,
So
that
we'll
would be
see what
amazing.
happens. Yeah, maybe a food truck. We'll see.
Oh,
Anything's
I'm looking
possible.
forward to
Let's go,
being
Spirit.
there and experiencing that. I've really missed out what was it,
For
2 years
now.
ago? Yeah, for now. There's always the future, right?
Yep.
Happens twice a year, the big shindigs.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, Brian, what's going on with you? Anything interesting happened to you this week?
No, other than injuring my big toe, that was about it.
Oh no, buddy.
Yeah, tell us about that. That's kind of interesting. We were talking pre-show about it, and I was telling him how I'd fractured my thumb, and I couldn't believe how much I needed my thumb for everything. And it's amazing when you can't use a body part, how you have to make adjustments. But what happened to you?
Oh, I tripped over some roofing and fell, and when I fell, my foot was in an awkward position, so I think I got turf toe.
Oh,
If I walk with my
got
foot
tucked
flat,
underneath.
yeah,
Okay.
I'm okay. But once I start bending them toes, it's painful. So, kind of walking
And isn't it
flat-footed.
always when you have like when you injure your toe, anytime that happens, doesn't matter what you do, you always hit it again. It's just it's like
oh, same way with like
I'm
jamming
sorry,
a finger.
yeah, you're like
Man, you just keep hitting it and keep hitting it. And
yeah, no doubt about it. How about you, Nick?
So
How'd
I
your week go?
mean, mostly getting ready for the trip that we're going on soon.
Yeah, tell us about your trip. This is really exciting. I'm super stoked for you guys.
Oh yeah, we got a whole Canada event going on in the next 2 weeks. So
Tell us about it. Where are you going? What's on the agenda? What are you going to see?
do you remember the exact names of the stops or no?
Where are you going?
So we're starting in Atlanta, and then that's where we go on the ship, and then we're going.
No, we go to Atlanta to New Orleans.
Atlanta to New Orleans, and that's when we get on the ship, and then we're going to go through the Gulf of Mexico, and then there's like before we get to Mexico, there's a few islands that they do excursions and stops at that we're going to see. We got a couple of them. We got one for a shaman healing, cleansing thing, and then another one for a private beach day.
You're going on a cruise.
Yeah.
Awesome. Have you guys ever been on a cruise before?
Yes, I haven't. It was my last
Okay.
time. So I'm excited.
I know the food is amazing.
That's what I hear.
Food and drinks are amazing. So yeah, definitely want to enjoy that.
Okay, so this is the list. It goes Louisiana, New Orleans, and we're at sea. Then the first stop is Costa Maya in Mexico.
Wow.
Then Harvest Cay, Belize. I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Mm-hmm.
And then Roatan Bay Islands in Honduras.
Wow.
And then it's Cozumel, Mexico. Then at sea again. Then we go back to Louisiana.
Amazing. Well, you guys are going to have to take lots of pictures because we definitely want to see and take some video.
Oh, yeah. There's definitely going to be spiritual reasons for going. We're going to see Mayan temples. That's like the main thing.
The Mayan temples, that would just be so exciting. I would love to do that.
Man.
Yeah. And of course, you have your own interpreter, right?
Right.
Jazzy's your interpreter.
That's me.
I love that.
Water.
Yeah. Before the show, we were talking, and Jasmine, you said you just came from the acupuncture place. Yeah. How was that?
So if I'm a little off, or if my energy's a little off, that's the acupuncture.
Yeah. So it released some energy that was kind of pent up. Is that what was going on for you?
Yeah. So acupuncture is really interesting. If you haven't had it done, like the first time I got it done, I thought it was a bunch of like just hearsay, and then they tell you don't move, right? Like they push on your nerves and they say don't move, and I'm just like, watch this, I'm gonna move, right?
How did that work out for you?
Oh my god, I couldn't. Like literally, my guide spoke up and they said, if you keep doing this, you're gonna hurt yourself. Ooh. And then I'm like, what? And then as I tried to, like, I would try to move, and it felt like there was a force like keeping me down or like restricting my movement. This is so weird. It's just the needle. How is this like?
Why did you want to move?
That's what I'm saying.
I just test because it's just part of my nature of where like I just question things and then
don't tell me what to do. I'm going to do whatever I want to do, kind of a thing. What do you got?
She's a
Taurus thing going on. That's a Taurus.
She needs the science part.
To me, it's more of like I don't listen. Like I don't have blind faith in things, right?
Okay.
I have to test like to see if I can put my trust in this person if they're lying to me, right? Like if they're saying don't move, you know, X, Y, and Z, but she told me, she's like, don't move, you can hurt yourself. And I'm like, how can I hurt because in my brain it wasn't making any sense. Like, how can I hurt myself with these little needles? Like people move when they have IVs in them, you know, and they have needles in them. So it wasn't making a lot of sense. But then when I tried, I was like, why does it feel like this? And she's like, because it's on your nerves. She's like, it's on a bunch of energy points, and those energy points is like what transfers. She told me in the scientific terms of your nerve endings are just electrical impulses, right? So when we put in the needles, it stops that electrical impulse, and it kind of just it pushes it down,
deadens it a little.
Yeah, it's kind of like you're crimping it.
Oh, okay.
Like a water hose, and you kind of crimp it.
Yeah, yeah.
So it crimps it for a little bit until because what it's holding on to the tension that's already there. So then when they get off and they release, you can actually feel that release.
Wow.
So
wow. So Nick, that's fascinating, Jasmine. And it's really cool that you did that. That's really smart, actually. But Nick, you were talking about parasitic energy.
Yeah. So
what was that all about?
Okay, so the whole reason why I got on here to pause my packing is because my guys wanted me to talk about how that stuff works. All right, so
the kind of in line with the purpose of Jasmine getting the acupuncture and releasing some energy, some negative energy, or
that's a good point. I didn't think about that. It's all intuition. I don't think about it. Like I'm like her. I am the faith type.
Okay. Of and she questions everything.
Yeah,
which is good. Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah, but so yeah, there's there's parasitic entities. So the reason why doing things a lot of time like going out and getting drunk or like listening to like negative themed music, especially when it's set on a negative hertz, like in like low 400s or whatever. The reason why that stuff is dangerous is because when you put yourself under the influences like that, it will start, your subconscious will open more. And when your subconscious opens more, anything that's set on that frequency will latch on. And it turns basically into a spiritual sickness. Like just like how you get real people in real life as energy vampires. Like if you put yourself out there in an environment like that, you can easily attract the ethereal energy vampires. And that's where, you know, that's where people get all like the lizard people. Like that's their realm. That's where they're actually coming from.
Yeah.
Like not sound like conspiracy theorists. It's all energy, spiritual related. So, and the reason why it happens is because it actually activates what people dub as the lizard brain. It's a part of your brain that's
the reptilian brain.
Yeah, it's
aspect
the
of us.
Yeah, it's the brainstem, the cerebellum, and the basal ganglia. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but that's like the foundation of all your primitive and thoughts and your instincts. So all that stuff is like goes into the front seat, and your neo-mammalian part of your brain, that is part that actually like keeps it disciplined, it goes on the back burner. So you're more susceptible to that stuff. So the reason why it's bad for you is that, you know, if you get that stuff attached to you, you're going to start attracting the negative things like that, or you're going to start attracting what they call ethereal STDs, essentially. Like they're just like you get physical ailments.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. Like how there's physical ailments.
Ew. Sorry, but
I know, I just got a mental image of like,
it is nasty. Don't let the parasites on you. Like,
keep your vibration high.
Tips on how to not do it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, just like how there's physical ones that you can get from people, there's metaphysical ones that you can get from spirits.
Sure. It just attracts more of that kind of energy, and it opens up portals to your energetic field. Hey,
good.
we can talk about it. We can talk about it.
Yeah,
You're
we
all
talk about
adults
it. This
here.
is important to know. So,
Yes.
a lot of people are actually susceptible to it because in our culture, it's like commonplace to like get drunk on the weekends, or for some people almost every day, and that's not good. Alcohol specifically, it's called wine and spirits for a reason.
Yeah.
It's
I wonder what people's biggest challenge was this week. I think everybody's faced some kind of challenge this week. Is that part of the challenge you guys faced or that you were dealing with?
I stared down the demon
Jasmine?
Sherwin-Williams and won.
You didn't spell it, did you?
Paint beast. No, thank the gods.
That's kind of therapeutic, though, huh?
Well, when you
Painting.
listen to Natural Law on Audible, yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, there you go. You turn on a podcast and you just go for it. Yeah, that's the way
That's
to do it. That selective hearing.
Some of the natives at Camp Chesterfield just don't appreciate Iron Maiden. It's sad. It's really sad.
Oh, well, that's interesting. And here's Nick's talking about that kind of music.
I mean, incantations, man, I'm telling you, people think, oh, it won't affect me. Everyone thinks they're them. Everyone thinks that they're immune, but they totally forget that being a human makes you not immune to that stuff. We're social creatures by default. Whatever we surround ourselves, we download.
What we think about, we bring about.
Yeah, it's the effect thing with the psychology stuff. But yeah, it's important. Like, you want to attract success, you can't surround yourself with things that are the opposite of that.
That's correct.
That's just the way it works. It all starts mentally first, and then energetically, then it trickles down and manifests into the physical. That's just how it works. Like some people wonder why they feel like they're doing everything right, but it's still not going their way. Well, you got to pay attention to your actual habits. What are you surrounding yourself with? How are you setting yourself up? So it's really important. Like instead of being around all the the negative like hip hop or the negative country music that's always talking about drugs or like love affairs or
my wife left me, my husband's having an affair,
and using the substances on top of that, instead you can reprogram yourself. Instead, use alcohol for
hygiene.
I'm not saying never touch alcohol. Alcohol actually has good implications when you use the tool correctly. You always want to use the tool correctly. That's the most important thing. Alcohol was originally made for like celebrations that are ceremonial or respecting loved ones that have passed away as like a tribute. That's what it was really designed for. But like everything, the dark side gets a hold of it and then they make their own version of it. And
that's why they call it spirits.
Right.
Yeah.
The archaic word for it is called Al Ghul or something like that, and that's what
Al Ghul.
Yeah, that. Yeah. So,
is that Nordic? What does that mean?
No, I believe that one's Eastern, but there's other names connected to different substances when used in extreme and moderation. The propensity for certain negative things to unfold amplifies with the misuse of the medicine.
She gets it.
Yeah.
I just pass it on, dude. I get out the way. I'm just here for the food.
Right.
Yeah, me too. I showed up for that too. I signed up for that one. You mean I get to eat? Cool. I can taste things. Right on. I can cook. Fantastic. Life is good.
I feel like a lot of this stuff is like, when they say in moderation. But, so say for example, even like my acupuncture thing, like I think like when I think about like what could possibly be like causing me emotional distress or physical distress or what is it that's driving the pain or like where is it coming from? Because I questioned everything, right? So I feel like a lot of people that abuse alcohol or even abuse like worry or they abuse fear or they abuse stress, it's almost like your body speaks a different language and we have to learn what that language is.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Your mind's so busy doing whatever it's doing that you're not really paying attention to your body.
One of the best ways, by the way, to reset all that, if you need to, are bells. Something about bells, negative entities can't stand them. It makes them literally can't leave the room. So like any bell, we have Tibetan bells where they kind of ding. We use those.
Oh, bells. I thought you said bills.
No,
Okay,
not bills.
Bells.
Oh,
Like,
I don't know
your bills, that
Midwestern
sends them
accent.
away.
no.
Cool.
Yeah, bells will clear energy in a room quickly.
Yeah, no kidding,
Yep.
right?
Mhm.
Yeah, just having to do
So
it.
bills, man, you got enough of it. That'll shut them up too.
Yeah. So I have an interesting question for you that I wanted to ask you guys.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I just this is just something that kind of makes you think, but do you think that every thought that comes into your awareness is yours?
No.
Why is
way.
that, Brian? So you don't think that everything that's going on in your head is you? Do you think there's other influences on your thoughts?
Sure there is. If a negative energy attaches to you, they're going to put different thoughts in your head, just like if a good energy attaches to you, that'll give you different thoughts. So yeah, not all thoughts are your own, but then again, it all could come from the subconscious mind, and you're not even realizing that it is your thought because it's coming from the subconscious mind.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of influences. Yeah. Soul, ego, spiritual stuff, all kinds of stuff. Yeah, that's interesting. How about you, Sophia? What do you think about that?
I think you can connect with at least I can connect with something that's not attached to me, possessed or oppressed. I can communicate great distances with different places. So I guess it depends on your development, what you are, what you're using. You know, it's just like a muscle. The more you use it, the better it's gonna perform.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, definitely most people, I see what Brian's saying. Most people, when something is oppressing them, that's when things get clearer, because it can start to affect the front of the mind, which is what needs to be quieted for the back of the mind to step forward for meditation. So if you're dealing with a heavy oppression, I would agree with what Brian's saying, but I would say there's so much more than what we could wildly imagine is really going on in the unseen world. We only see just a fraction of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mary, you're right. It can take a lot of practice to figure out which voices in your head come from yourself and which ones come from someplace else. Yeah, I totally agree. Yep.
I feel like that brings up the good topic of anytime someone's learning this stuff. There's always like the 3 golden rules. Is grounding and shielding, and then knowing your energy. So you have to have a good basis of what your energy is. That way you can tell when something is listening, something's hitchhiking, if something is watching, because you'll be able to feel those subtle differences from your constant normal.
I would also like to bring up that just because it's woo doesn't mean you can't apply common sense.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah,
that's very
like
true.
like if I'm vibing and a intrusive thought comes in and it's so there's 2. Let me sidetrack. There's 2 ways of thinking. Apparently, some people hear the voice, but other people don't hear the voice. Instead, they see writings, which is mind-boggling for me to think about, because I can't imagine just like seeing a bunch of lines just manifesting in thin air, and that's how I think.
I've had that happen. It is a little different.
Yeah.
Because I had it happen in a reading one time where someone's name started, I thought it started with a K and it started with a C, and I saw spirit take their finger in the air and draw like this iridescent light blue C, and I'm like, oh, I've been corrected.
Oh, wow.
Well, that's how I found out in the symphonic stuff. S is a fake letter, because I was forcing myself to express, because it was a life lesson that I was going through, and it's spelled out in air EXPREZZ instead of S's. So I was like, and then ding. So that's how I interpreted that. So, but anyways, as I was saying, so I can't talk for the ones that see writing. I can talk for the ones that hear it, because that's how I think mostly. So
you hear thoughts.
Yeah, I've gotten used to my inner voice. I know what it sounds like, and I've gotten familiar enough with my guides to know what they sound like. So when I hear a new voice, I'm always questioning. I'm like, you're either a new guide or you don't belong here. You're trying to be a parasitic latch on for how you got here. I don't know, but I'm gonna get rid of you. But, and I have other spirits. Like I work with spirits with my house when I was cleansing it. I invited tons of things. I was like, this is the deal. You help me fix up this house. You got it. You can squat here. Basically, that was the deal. So I'm like, as long as you got good intentions, you can chill here. And it's been a symbiotic relationship. And so, every so often one of they don't get shy no more. And I hear one. So, so yeah. So basically I keep it very simple. I keep it extremely simple. Are you saying positive things that help me out? Or are you saying negative things that will throw me astray?
Yeah.
It's like I said, use common sense. If it's not a good idea and they're being a bad influence, kick them out. Say you don't belong here. Like,
yeah, anything that talks to you negatively. Yeah, sorry, you can't be in the same place. Exactly. Yeah, remember, unacceptable.
Yeah, remember, it's your temple. You can dictate who has influence in it and who doesn't.
Right, you're the sovereign being.
Yep.
You're the infinite sovereign being. Right. Nobody has control over you but you.
Yeah. So do yourself a favor and keep it positive instead of letting a bunch of leeches muck up the place. So.
Do you get ideas and go just out of nowhere? Does that happen to you as well?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the whole reason why I'm on right now. Like, logic would dictate I should be packing right now because I don't got a lot of time to do it. I'll have one more day after this. But intuitive me was like, nah, you got to talk about it. For some reason, they want you to talk about it. But get on tonight. So
yeah. Because somebody needs to hear it.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to hear about it.
Yeah. Or just earlier, I was like, I need to go in the garage. And Jasmine was like, why? Why do you need to go in the garage? I was just in it. I was like, I don't know. And she's like, what do you mean you don't know? I'm just like, I don't know. I'll let you know
follow it. So what'd you need in the garage?
I found 3 things. I found an extra Type C cable. I found one of those hook things. And then I found the remote for the TV that she was wanting.
That sounds like higher self stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I don't know the things until they happen. I just know they're going to happen. That's how intuition works. A lot of faith. You got to have a lot of faith in your instincts and in your guides and spirit to be able to figure it out. But once you figure it out, it's easy.
It becomes second nature.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. Yeah. When you start really paying attention to your thoughts and you realize there's so much going on all the time, and to differentiate everything is difficult. And that's why it's so important to quiet the mind and really focus on things. And then you can start to determine what's what. Is this me? Is this something else? I get little comments and things from my guide a lot too, like little smart aleck comments, but he's kind of like that. He uses a lot of profanity, which is okay. It doesn't bother me a bit, but it's always a trip because you can hear it. And sometimes for me, sometimes it is in my own voice, but the energy is different. That's not me saying that to myself. That's me repeating the energy that has come in and what he's trying to say. Yeah, it's fascinating. And sometimes you can feel a little crazed out about it too, until you figure out what's really going on.
Oh yeah, especially when you're starting out. I've seen a lot of people go like, oh my God, am I schizophrenic? I'm like, I mean, technically on a medicinal definition, but once you start diving into this, you realize that's not that simple.
I think it drives home the importance of self-care, grounding, knowing yourself. So when you come across something new, you can vet it pretty quickly. Is it mine? Is it not? And
is it positive? Is it negative?
Yeah. Right. Well, and then having good energetic hygiene is, have your moments, feel your emotions. Your emotions are valid, but not to the point where you're throwing an energetic tantrum and polluting all the energy around you and everyone else. There's a level of responsibility.
Yeah,
that comes with navigating, especially when you're within a group. It's like when I'm on my way to on the way to the shop for whatever reason or service at camp, I listen to upbeat music on purpose because when I'm in that moment, in that it's not about me. You have to stop and remember why we do what we do. and that it has nothing to do with us.
Yeah.
So
Mary says, I think communication from spirit, higher self, comes in whatever form works best for the individual. No right or wrong to it. Just another aspect of finding your own path. I totally agree with that.
me too.
Very good comment. Thank you for that. Yeah.
Yeah. Omens, totems, numbers, symbols, smells, songs on the radio.
Yep.
I mean, there's a lot more. I mean, yes, the universe is entirely mental. Every last one, every planet, everything. But there are certain like calling cards with certain kind of energy that I've found.
Yeah. The interpretation part of it. Sometimes you just have to trust how you feel about it. And that's a good indicator. I think that's what you guys are saying.
Right. How does it make me feel?
How does it make you feel? Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I think for me, since feelings didn't come all that naturally, there was a lot of entanglement with emotions. So I learned to like box them up and not pay attention to them. So if I was hearing this conversation back when I was in that kind of mindset, and I would say, well, what do you mean? How does it feel? What does that mean? Because I was really self-disciplined of where I would just, what is it? What's the word? Nut up or shut up? Like,
tune out. Tune out.
I would hyper focus, and I would tune in, and I would get stuff done. I didn't care if my body was tired. I didn't care if I was sad. I didn't care. I worked through the pain, and I got
through it.
But I realized that wasn't healthy, right? But there's someone else that's probably going through that, and you're hearing this advice of feel it, and what does your intuition say? I would be completely lost. I would be like, I don't know. What do you mean? What does my body say? It can't talk. Like, completely left field. But I learned after learning that, spiritualism is mental health. The more mentally healthy you are, the more spiritually safe you're going to be, and the more spiritually strong you're going to be.
Tell it, Jazz.
Once I learned that those two things were linked, I started thinking about what does it mean to overthink, right? And that's when you're stuck in a loop. It's like you thought about this 50 times already. Nothing new has happened. That's overthinking. You can think of solutions. You can think a problem through. You can think of like different angles. But if if nothing's changing and it's just the same thing on repeat, it's chaos. That's what Albert Einstein said. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result.
That's Dalibor. Dalibor said that a lot. Yep.
Well, because it's true. So like that's when I started to realize, because I used to think that there was power in thinking. You know what I mean? If you thought about the solutions, if you think before you speak, the smart ones get ahead. Like the smart ones make more money. So I always had a lot of value in thinking. So I didn't realize that there was such an upset or such an extreme of overthinking, and the showings or the signs of overthinking is when that same thing is on repeat and nothing else is changing. So if you have an entity or a thought stream that keeps having that thinking, kind of do like an Etch-a-Sketch and be like, all right, hold on, can we like table that, or tell me something new? Start interacting with it, because I don't want to focus on like toxic positivity of like always be positive, because like it's not natural. We're both spectrums. We're both light and dark. The problem is if fear is not giving you a logical reason that it's showing up, and you address it and you said fear is supposed to be there, like, hey, you're getting too close to the edge, you might fall and die. Okay, thank you, fear. I'm gonna step back on the path and realign. But if it's like, hey, the edge is over here, you can still fall. There might be a meteor that comes over and you might topple down. Once it starts going too extreme and too like why? Like, that's just too out of the way. Why fear? Why are you telling me this? There's no reason for you to be here. That's when it's like you should question it. Or same thing, like I started to like hearing just random intrusive thoughts of like, what if that car just pulled in front of me? I'm like, okay, cancel, clear that. Why would you think that? Why would?
Yeah. Why am I thinking that? Why did that come into mind now?
Exactly. So it's just keeping kind of like a mindful, being present in the moment and figuring out, is this actually helping the situation, or is this actually making me doubt myself?
Right. Sophia, you want to comment on that? That's a good point, Jazz.
Yeah, what I hear Jasmine saying is when there's intrusive thoughts, when there's repetition, when it's not of a good frequency or a positive, you can't do anything with it, productive when you're in a loop. For me, that is my cue, and it took a long time for me to incorporate it, but it's very powerful to either speak an affirmation, because when you're speaking or writing or doing something or creating or art or something with that emotion to process it, you're giving that energy somewhere to go. And I've won that. I've wrestled with thoughts for days, weeks, months, and what did it get me? I think that it can have like a passive effect. You're so caught up in your head, you're not doing anything physical anymore. And the other thing that was before that thought was there's a saying in spiritualism and with what I do energetically to keep an even, cool mind. No matter what happens, keep an even mind.
Staying neutral.
Because a lot of energetic situations that you might find yourself in an advanced situation that you're blessed to be a part of, whatever you're going to do can be amplified in those spaces. So if you bring love, you're going to amplify love. If you bring fear, you're going to amplify fear. When you have a collection of people doing the same thing, then you have the law of attraction and other things that come into play. For example, physical mediumship, table tilting, things like that. If you want to navigate a powerful spirit, but not one that is of a lower vibration, because lower vibration spirits can have power too. But do you really want to get down with that type of energy on the constant? I've had enough for one lifetime. Thank you. I'm good.
Push it away.
But sometimes it takes more to push. But I would say remembering that you have a right to stay calm, and knowing the correct, not the correct reason, but knowing the reason why it's so important. You can sabotage your own metaphysical, energetic, and physical development by focusing on negativity, because that's what it breeds. So that's just something that I've experienced, and I wish somebody would have told me, earlier, thou shalt not show thyself. Fair enough, but that's why we're here.
And I think gaining a little bit of control, or at least
you're always in control.
Yeah,
not being in control is a freaking illusion.
Exactly, and that's exactly what I wanted to say was. No, it's all good because you're picking up on what I'm putting down.
Yes, ma'am.
It is an illusion, you get these things in your mind that you think are going on, and it's not always that way, and you just assume and assumptions, and it is it's a lot to deal with. I mean, just being human, just being here on this earth and in a body, it's a lot to take in, and I could see why the universe just thinks we're the shizzle because we're the brave ones that come down here and do this and make adjustments and change society and, make changes for ourselves to make it a better place for future generations. I mean, think about that. You come here to make things better for yourself. What if you're going to have another lifetime? You want things to be better than it was when you got here or before you got here.
That's why we recycle. Yeah, we do.
Until you don't have to do it anymore. And I think you ultimately are the one that decides that.
Of course.
I've had enough. It's time. I'm good. I'll try something else for a while.
Vacation.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited for you guys. You guys are going on a vacation. I'm stoked for you. That's awesome.
If I could bring you all, I would.
Yeah. Well, tuck us away energetically. Brian?
I have a question for Jasmine.
Sure.
When overthinking, do you consider that a bad habit?
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever tried to analyze why you keep falling back into that overthinking?
Yes. So usually it's because I'm ignoring a feeling. So from what I found when I overthink and I'll just do it casually. I'll be doing something and I'll be like, this again? Why is this here again? And then I would be like, what do you want? Well, okay, what do we? Okay, and then I'll think about it. I'm like, yes, I know that already. Yes, I know that already. Yes, I know that. So what is it, right? And it's like, well, you're avoiding the fact that this is hurting you. And I'm like, it's not hurting me. I'm fine. And then it's like, no, Jazz, you are upset that this is not going how ideally you want it to. You're not expecting it to, but you still want it.
That's control.
That's attachment to the outcome.
Yep.
It is.
Yep.
Because it's kind of like I accept reality for what it is, right? Like I understand that I can't control people and I can't control like universe and I can't control like what people wear or what people say or how they act. I can't control people. And why would I if it's not authentic? You know what I mean? Like if someone doesn't want to be around me and I'm
Bye, Felicia.
I want people to be here because they want to be here. You know? I want to believe the smiles. I want to believe everything that they're doing. I don't want to turn around and be like, was all that fake? Were they just pretending? Like I don't want to go down that road. So I understand that I can't control people, but I know that I still want that, like on an emotional level. And emotions don't make logical sense, right? I know logically I have no control over it, but in my heart, I wish my mom was here. I wish my sister was here. I wish, you know what I mean? I still have that longing, but it's more of like, it is what it is. So it's my overthinking is because my logic has the reason, but my emotion or my body still had a message for me and I was putting it off to the side.
Yeah. Mary Mansfield says, writing creates a separation that allows me to examine things more objectively. Then it's easier to release. I totally agree with you because
100%.
I do the same thing when I've got a problem or I'm trying to figure something out or something's not setting well with me. The first thing I do is I go to my journal and I write it out. Okay, what are my thoughts? What are my opinions? What's going on with me? Why is this happening? And then all of a sudden you kind of get into that automatic writing mode and the higher self steps up and then it starts giving you some information and you start working it out. And it's really, that process is amazing because it allows you to be objective and it allows you to really look at it and see what's going on. And then once you know what's going on, you can go, you know, no big deal. And it's that easy and you're not feeling like latched onto it. But
I like
you know,
writing it out too because I feel like when I write it out, whoever's pestering me or whatever emotion or whatever my body's trying to tell me, it's like they feel acknowledged when I write it out.
Absolutely.
Like if I keep thinking it in my head and it's like, did you get it? Did you not? It's kind of like when you have active listening and you're having a conversation with people and you have like the head nods or you have like, yes, or I agree or I don't agree, right? I feel like when I write it out, I'm actively telling my body, my emotion, my mind, I see it.
You're centered and focused when you're writing.
Exactly.
You're grounding yourself. You're, you know, what am I feeling? Why am I feeling this way? This is how this person made me feel. And then, you know, through spirituality, you realize that people can't make you feel anyway, but you're the one that makes you feel.
You have to allow it.
Yeah. Yes. The art of allowance. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Is this mine or someone else's?
Right.
Yeah.
Vet that shit with the quickness.
Yeah.
You paying rent? Get out.
Yeah.
And you have to question, like the second tier of the questions of like, okay, so why am I feeling this? Okay, so why am I allowing it? What idea am I holding on to? What belief am I holding on to? And for me, it was, I just simply wished to have a family. And it was like, oh, okay. Like that's normal, that's natural, but like, you know, that's not reality. So you gotta
what do you think you've learned? Let me ask
I'm right here.
I'm talking about like people that like, you know, you are my new family. That's different.
Right.
You're not my mom. You don't want me to treat you like my mom?
No, okay. That'd be weird.
What do you think you've learned from having the kind of family that you have? Your biological family or the family that you grew up with. What did you learn from that situation?
Boundaries.
it taught me a lot of my fundamentals of like
How did it prepare you for your life now? In hindsight, 2020, you were a kid, you grew up, and what did you learn from growing up in that environment? What are you bringing to the table? What do you bring with you now?
I think I just have a lot of understanding for other people that have gone through it. I think that's the biggest one that I took from that, because I can't necessarily say that them teaching me to hide my emotions and keeping them in a box was necessarily a healthy thing. But now I have that tool. If I ever need it, I know how to access it. But I don't necessarily, now that I've learned even more about spiritualism, now I know that it's okay to table things if it's like a life or death situations, but it's not okay to bury things.
Mm-hmm. So you know what you don't want when you know what you do want.
Right.
Yep.
Fascinating. And Nick's your new family now. Do you guys plan on having a family?
He wants kids like yesterday.
I'm patient.
That.
Uh-huh.
I like to plan things, so I'm not just going. It's not going to be wonton. No, that's a big commitment.
Yeah.
18-year commitment.
No, that's for the rest of your life commitment.
Yeah.
Right, Brian, you've got children. You've got kids, right?
Yes, 34, and
Yeah.
still a handful.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God.
You don't have 34 kids, but your kid is 34. Is that what you mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
But say,
no.
get down, Brian. All right,
man.
I would not be
It
here if
run
I had
that
34 kids.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Sophia, you don't have kids. Why do you think you chose not to have kids?
I have what I call baby birds. I wrestled with my own family and those that came before me, my siblings and everything, and I'm persuaded by spirit that I am to look out after other people's children. I feel that this world is challenging enough, so I have baby birds. There's 17 of them.
Mm-hmm.
That if they need something or to talk to, so I feel my role and at least my part of my soul contract connected to kids is to look out for the gifted ones that their family doesn't understand, because that's my experience.
Mm-hmm.
I don't read for anybody under 18, be out of respect for the time and energy invested in raising a human being.
Smart.
I won't do it. I don't
Mhm.
care if both parents are there with a birth certificate. Come back in X amount of whatever,
Mm-hmm.
because their energy is not settled
Mm-hmm.
into their instrument, into their body.
Yeah.
At least, and 21's better.
Yeah.
But being there to assist and support, because sometimes the parents need the support too. You know, it's not just the kids.
Mm-hmm.
And just being able to listen, reflectively listen, and allow people to be heard. Because kind of like what we were talking about earlier, you know, you just get so in your head, you know, you can think yourself sick, you can think yourself well. I mean, the power of the mind is amazing. And if spirit puts me in a position to where I can convey, perhaps you deserve better than what you've been experiencing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a simple sentence like that that can really light a spark that's been waiting to be lit.
Yeah, I think maybe one of the reasons to not have children, not that there's anything wrong with kids, I love kids, but I think it allows you to focus on yourself in this lifetime. So if you chose not to have children, that's because you're truly focusing your energies on your own self. And a lot of times kids will create karma for you. So if you're looking to clear, if you're looking to clear up some karma, you probably shouldn't, or might want to make the decision not to, but
I would argue it's high risk, high reward situation.
Absolutely. Kids are great. I enjoyed being a kid. I did. I loved it. And,
you can rack up a lot of good karma.
Yeah.
That's currency. You may get away with a couple things.
Or you could just be focusing on yourself and going on really fabulous vacations and doing some things that you wouldn't do if you had children right now. So you wouldn't be able to focus on yourself. So I want to look at that a I'll balance that out. You know, there's plenty of time for that. Yeah.
Oh, I already gave the prerequisites to my guides and God. I was like, if I'm supposed to have kids, I need the money for it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it half baked on impulse.
Yeah, you want to provide,
you know, her and the kid in poverty. I'm not going to do it. So if I'm supposed to have a kid, they better figure it out. Give me more money. That's how that's my mentality.
Some come in just to be
care of
parents.
an animal can be karmic and expensive. You know, it doesn't have to be spawn to add.
Yeah, like fur babies. You know, you have a fur baby.
That your pets are, I guess I saw somewhere online. It said that there are energies or like soul family that you're tied to that want to come down as your child, but if you choose not to have children, they'll choose to come down as your pet because it's almost the same thing.
Yeah. People are asking about Theresa in chat. Yeah, you guys, she's getting ready to move, and she's been having to do a lot of physical work. Her and her brother are getting the place all ready to be sold, and she just worn out and needed some R&R. But yeah, we miss her too. So, but that's what's going on with her. So just send her some good positive energy and some love and light. And she could use it. But yeah, she just down getting some rest. Yep. Yeah. Let's see.
What other questions you got in your hopper, ma'am?
Yeah. Well, has anything interesting happened to anybody this week? Anything out of the ordinary? Anything interesting?
No.
Besides lights turning on and off.
Yeah,
that happens a lot to me too, because my dad communicates that way.
Oh, well,
Go ahead.
There is one thing that happened to us, and I don't even know how it happened. I don't get it. But our dishwasher stopped working for a little bit, yeah. And yesterday it started magically working again. I don't know what they did. Maybe that's why I can't find my keys, because that was the price that the brownies wanted to fix it. I don't know. I don't know what happened, but it's working, and God's good. That's all I got to say about it.
You got brownies. What kind of brownies?
Not like leaving them out like you do for Santa Claus. Is that kind of a reward thing, you know?
I'm talking.
Come to my house.
The little ones that like to help around, but
brownies, the kid brownies, like scouts. Yeah. Is that what you mean? Okay.
More like little fae. They're a type of fae that what they do.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
wow. Yeah, I guess I did come here for the food, huh?
Yeah. But told you,
so keep
bean
your place
footage
organized.
and all.
Yeah.
The pro is they'll keep your place organized and they'll fix stuff randomly. But the con is that they like shiny things and you'll misplace them all the time.
Okay.
So.
I got another question for you. Is there anything you feel guilty about?
Not anymore.
No.
Anything you feel guilty about? Anybody in chat? Is there anything you feel guilty about?
Confess your sins.
Yeah, it's time.
Speed it up.
Oh, I got one.
Okay.
I didn't realize that. So who told me about it? Someone brought it to my attention, and I didn't mean to do it like intentionally, but they were just like, they're like, Jasmine, you come off really cold. I was like, I do. They're like, yeah, like you don't, like you only smile if you're eating. I'm like, oh.
Good morning.
Well, that's an interesting observation.
Everybody does it.
I'm like, well, thanks. I mean, I guess. And they're just like, yeah, like other than that, like you're just like in your own little world. And I'm like, I guess so.
Yeah.
But I felt kind of guilty because I didn't want them to feel awkward or to feel like uninvolved or like ignored or anything like that. It was just, you know.
Elderberry says, guilty of love, baby.
Pedal more of that.
I love it.
Now I think about it, I'm guilty about something.
Hello. I got a little spider that just popped. Hi, buddy. What are you doing? Here, go over here. Go over
what
there.
Did you do, Nick? Is it on YouTube? Can we make money off of it? What'd you do?
If I was making money off of it, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah, someone going on a cruise.
I'd be in Italy chilling. But no, I have this problem.
Oh, is it my? Oh, okay.
No, not that one. Not that one. I don't feel guilty about that one. That's not. I don't feel like that's my fault.
PG.
Require medicine.
Does it require medicine?
Talking about
You
the
need a
old
Band-Aid for
earlier.
that.
It's a social like habit that for some reason it's flawed. So like I have this tendency to talk over people on accident.
You just
And
get excited. I do that too.
Yeah, that's what it is. I get excited and I just start blurting it out, and I feel like a jerk every time I do it. And I've been catching myself more, but I still do it, and oh my god, it's so frustrating because I don't want people to feel like that, you know, that I don't care about what they're saying.
Paging, loving, and gently. Paging, loving, and gently. Aisle 4, loving, and gently.
Clean up aisle 4.
Yeah, I don't want to make them feel like I'm ignoring them and I'm just hearing myself talk and stuff like that, you know, because that's not my intention to go about it. It's just like I was super isolated as a child, and now I actually get to talk to people, and like it activates like a level of excitement for me. But I feel bad every time because like I see their facial expressions because I know a little bit about them. I'm like, oh god, they feel weird. I'm like, so or oh man, they got a little annoyed by it, like, you know. I'm working on it.
Yeah.
Progress, not perfection.
Milky Way says, Robert B. Interesting having wild dreams again. Anyone? Again, that 5-minute daydreams are back for me again. They are just so real. I almost can't tell them from reality. It sounds like more like a vision, maybe, that you might be having.
Agreed.
Especially if it's in 5 minutes in the, that's a date. Yeah, you're having a vision. That's interesting. Lucky says, weird this week. My cell phone has been barely working and unusable for days. I got a new phone delivered today and it started working normal 3 hours before my new phone arrived. Got a little jealous, I think. Huh? Sympathetic operation.
Yes.
No, don't junk us. No. Yeah, didn't you? Oh, he had that accident a while back too. You had to let that car go. Yeah, here, this. I feel guilty. I sent my 22-year-old car to the junkyard. I'm stuck thinking of all the adventures we has in the last 20 years. Yeah, but everything's gotta well, I hate to say that word. Everything's gotta go sometime. It's gotta go. But you know, that's like change. Change is hard for people, but if you just realize that any kind of change, good or bad, is always for something more or something better, in my opinion. I know there's good change and there's bad change. You can look at it however you want to, but change of any kind is for something better for you. And it may not feel like it's better for you, but it is. And in the long run, sometimes you learn that.
You should look at it this way, Lucky. New car, new adventures.
There you go. Yep.
Flip that script, Brian. That's what's up.
That's a good one. I like that.
Dig it.
That's utilizing the Hermetic principle of correspondence correctly.
Yep.
Can we touch about the dream thing? Because I have been having really wild dreams lately.
Sure. Yeah, let's hear it.
And it's so strange because my dreams are like little movies, okay? Like superpowers and like, you know, villains and like they're cool. I like them. But lately here I've been getting very specific names, and I Google the names and I'm like, why? Like as soon as I start waking up, I'll get a first and a last name, and I'm just
what are you getting?
I got one. Like one was Ollie UK. The other one was it Kenneth? I sent them to you, babe. The other one was, hold on, I can't remember off the top of my head. I wrote them down because I knew that was going to happen. But basically, I would Google them, and I'm just like, who are these people? I have no idea who these people. Like, I would never look at these people before.
That's interesting.
But, yeah, I thought that was interesting because I would get like symbolism, or you know, where you dream of the same dreamscape and you go back to it.
Yeah,
I've had that happen quite a bit. Where like,
so you're dreaming the same dream a lot. Anybody else out there dreaming the same dream a lot?
The same dream, the same location.
Okay.
So like I have like 3 different locations. One of them is like a school of some sort. The other one is a house by a lake full of trees. And then, but I've never been to a house by a lake like that before. And then the other one is it's a town, and I'm walking outside of the town. But it's those same places, but different things are happening in different nights at those places that I've never been to. So.
Oh no, the thing that trips me out about my dreams sometimes is that I'll get snippets, right? And then like days, months, years down the line, boom, it's happening. And it just throws me into this whole deja vu thing. And I feel like Professor X when he's having a migraine. Like, yeah, that's what it's almost like a foresight thing. It'd be cool if I could learn how to control that. But
yeah, dreams are a trip because sometimes dreams can be parallel lives, things that are going on at the same time, especially if they're familiar. Certain things in your dreams, most dreams are reflections of your inner self, or maybe things that you're dealing with at the time or situations. It's the subconscious mind of dealing with it. But it's when we're sleeping, we're not in the body anyway. So we're out there spiritually doing our spiritual work while the body rests and relax. So if you're remembering some of the dreams, it's good to look it up to see what they represent. Like Jasmine was saying, house, that's the house is like the house you build within yourself.
Right.
And then the river or the stream, that's the energetic flow. It's quite interesting. Years ago, I read Betty Bethard's dream book, and I put it on my Pureloveascension channel, and it was fascinating. Louise Hay was one of the pioneers of dream books, and very interesting. And it's a good starter book. So you might want to check that out if you're into the dream interpretology. But you can look it up. You can Google it. You can AI it. What does it mean? Like last night I had this dream. I was walking barefoot, and I was going from my old house to my new house. And it was kind of a trippy walk. And I know that, having shoes on your feet is like grounding. So there's so many interpretations that you could, do. But I like Mary's deal, Mary Mansfield, where you just write something down and kind of dissect it that way. That's a good way to do it. What you got, Sophia?
Well, the one thing that came to mind was like when you see a past loved one in your dream life, I truly feel that that's them, as long as it's positive, it's not.
They're visiting you.
Right.
That I've had that happen. Yep.
Even
my dad.
Yep.
My dad came to me shortly after his death, and he was like his 30-year-old self, like his prime. And he always loved to wear these like V-neck t-shirts, and he had his V-neck t-shirt on and some jeans. And he just gave me a big hug. And I just remember what his shirt used to smell like, that smell of somebody. And it was very comforting to know that he was just letting me know that, hey, I'm still here. I'm not gone forever. I'm still your father,
Right.
Things like that. It's really cool. But yeah. And then when you get into, I've had some experiences where I had some lucid dreams where I could feel somebody with me, literally with me. And that was a shocker. Things like that, paranormal type stuff where I felt like somebody was touching my foot, and then later found out it was my guide. He's just punking me, or he'll turn my TV on, or lights, or, just all kinds of weird things happen. And you just kind of go, or the, I don't want to say it because Siri, if sometimes that pops off with something out of the blue for no reason. And I'm like, okay, that's interesting. All right. Did I hear that right? Okay. I didn't ask it anything. Why is it popping off? I mean, I know it's an electronic device, and Spirit has a really they're very able to manipulate the energy, and they can do that kind of stuff. I heard my dad's voice in my earbud shortly. God, it was not even 24 hours after his death, and I heard him say my name in my earbud, and it shocked me so much. I pulled the earbud out and I'm looking at it going, did that just happen to me? I heard him and it sounded digital. It was really interesting. Very digital. But you know how when somebody in your family says your name and you know that's them. It was his voice, but it was digital, and he was using it to get my attention. And I was like, wow, that was one of the craziest things. I know there was one time my guide played a really mean trick on me. I don't know if I can forgive him for this one, but got me out of bed at 3:00 in the morning to race home. I was staying with my mom at the time, and I had a roommate call me and told me that there may be a gas leak or something at my house. And I was like, what? So my mom and I jump in the car, 3:00 in the morning. We're racing over to my house. We get there and the fireman's like, is this your house? I'm like, yeah, what's going on? And he's like, come here for a second. And I'm like, what? And we walk into the house and my little Echo Dot had white noise going on it. And my roommate thought it was a gas leak. And I'm like, Eric, you little shit, gosh darn you. And he was like, he goes, the look on your face was priceless. And I'm like, you punked me? You actually, gosh, what? Do you guys not have anything better to do? I mean, he literally took responsibility for it. Yeah, that was me. And I was like, wow, dude, that's just wrong on so many levels.
Yeah.
3:00 in the morning, and you think your house is burning down. What's going on? And you pull up and there's fire engines all over the place, and it's just your little Echo Dot there, just playing some white noise. I'm like, who turned that on? How does that come on at 3:00 in the morning? You know what I'm saying?
No, 3:00 in the morning.
Yeah, that's just bizarre. Yeah, so amazing. But anyway,
well, it's interesting that's at 3:00 in the morning, because that's actually like I think it's between 1 to 3:00. That's like when
that's when they like to strike. Yeah. Yep.
I'd say the trippiest thing dream wise I ever had was something that Jim gave confirmation for me one time. So I'd say this was years ago. I still remember this dream. I was in a high-speed boat chase, and I had like a suit on, chasing whoever it was. I had a partner also with the suit, and we were just chasing them down this. I don't know. I think it felt like a giant lake. But, yeah, it was a high-speed boat chase. Capsized basically, and then I hit my head, and I remember falling in the water, and then it blanked out. I remember my partner trying to grab me. I blanked out, and I woke up immediately. Then like 10 years later, like I'm chilling at Brian's retreat. Jim just starts, doing this thing. Still, he's a hoot, man. I love Jim.
He's a great guy.
He just brings up the fact that, like Nick, for example, he used to be a CIA agent. And the reason why he has a phobia of water is because he freaking capsized his boat and drowned. I was like, what did you just say?
Wow. Yeah.
That explains a lot.
Yep.
And he wasn't the first person to tell me that I had a CIA past life as my most recent past one, because my teacher Scott, he also knew about it. And then when I brought it up, when I found out about it, I brought it up to him. I'm like, yeah, I know exactly who you are. I was like, dang, that's crazy, because he also was in it. So
yep, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's crazy how it just works like that.
I have a parallel life. I don't like to say past lives anymore because I know it's all consistent and parallel. But I have it from I was a porter on the Titanic. In fact, we did a show on this and showed a picture and everything, but I can't do deep water. But I love water, but I can't do deep water. And having a lifetime where you drowned, it's a peaceful death, no doubt about it, but not when you're plunged into really cold water.
Right.
That was tough, but yeah, it's amazing how it affects your current lifetime.
Yeah, it explains why I don't really like lakes and stuff like that. But when I went to Cali on a road trip and I saw the ocean, I loved it. Even though I was expecting it because I can't swim for the dam.
I have mad respect for the ocean. I really do. And I like to stick to the streams and the lakes and that kind of stuff, the smaller bodies of water, but that really dense, deep water, I don't care for that much.
Right.
I have a hard time with that.
That's the opposite for me. Most of my meditations are in black water, like just
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a trip. That's powerful, actually, when you think about it. It's almost like that moon energy, it's the same kind of, that's like powerful.
It feels velvety, like it's not cold. It's like cool to the touch of the fabric, but it's not cold. It's not icy cold.
Yeah. Fascinating. Well, you guys.
I found those names. Did you want to hear them?
Oh, yeah, sure.
So one of them is Calvary Jackson, David Crenshaw, and Kenneth Copeland.
And then, have you Googled them? Have you looked up the names?
Kenneth Copeland is some reverend. Like he's a church person. And I'm just like, who? Yep. Why are you
here? Yeah, I would look up the names and I would see if there's any correlation between all three names to see if there's a pattern. That would be interesting. But yeah, I get that too. Every once in a while, I get a name that pops into my head. And I'm like, why am I thinking about that? What's this all about? Yeah.
It feels like a game. And I'm just like, okay, sure. Like, we'll play a side quest. Let's go.
Side quest.
Yeah, I guess it's like.
Give me an objective here. Oh, okay.
Nice.
Yeah. Too funny. Well, guys, we're coming to the end here. I just thought, it would be nice to just kind of shoot the you-know-what and chitty chat and see where everybody's at, and nothing heady this week or any teaching moments. Just wanted to do something a little different. And so I'm glad you guys popped in and participated and did that. And I could have canceled tonight because Theresa wasn't feeling well, but I thought, you know what, I'm just going to show up and do me and do the show, and hopefully somebody got something out of it. But or even if it's just a place for people to come and kind of hang out with like-minded people, that's always good, right? Does anybody have we'll go round robin. Brian, you have some final thoughts for anybody tonight yourself? Just something you want to say?
Well, Sophia said it best Wednesday night when we were at group, like having a place to meet with like-minded people, just like this platform right here. It is so beautiful that we get to meet people from around the country and the world that are like-minded, that want to come and join us to hear what we have to say. And it's just, I can't tell you how much I just love these people, and it just makes me feel good that they are here watching and listening and absorbing what we have to say.
Oh, that's wonderful. I love you, Brian.
Love you too.
You're a good man. I really appreciate you a lot. Yep.
Thank you.
You're good stuff. Good stuff. How about you, Nick and Jasmine?
Final thoughts. I guess my final thought is just from spiritualism and mentalism, and like, I used to think that I would never get it because Nick would always tell me, like, it's intuition. You can't explain it. It just happens. And I'm just like, but there has to be a reason. I guess what I'm walking out with this is that everything happens for a reason, and everything works out for the best of you. So even though you might not see the reason of why X, Y, and Z is happening, or why you're going through whatever you're going through right now, keep your head up and remember that there is a solution to any problem you're facing. You just got to find a way over, around, under, or straight through it.
Yeah.
And then things make sense.
Yep. We're all here doing the best we can. Yep. Nick?
Remember the energy work. Energy is everything. Energy is literally everything. I will drill this into your head. Energy is everything.
Lovingly and gently.
Right. It's really important to figure out how to utilize it instead of it just being all over utilizing you.
Mm-hmm.
if you want an easier life. I mean, I don't know about you, but I like my life easier. So.
Mm-hmm. Ride the wave instead of the wave riding you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Stop falling.
That's after the show. Just kidding.
Stop falling for all the indulgence and
behave.
debate. Like,
Yeah. Awesome. How about you, Sophia? Final thoughts? Thank you, Nick and Jasmine.
Everybody's the way they are for a good reason.
Mm-hmm.
Right now is not forever.
True. Nothing lasts forever, does it?
You can pick your friends, you can pick your nose, but sorry. Just, love yourself where you're at.
Yeah. Give yourself a break once in a while, too. Don't be so hard on yourself.
Agreed.
Just chill a little bit.
Have fun.
Throw it in neutral. You don't have to grind the gears. You don't have to slam on the brakes. You don't have to put your foot into it all the time.
Lovingly and gently.
Yeah. Just chill a little bit and just relax.
Right.
That's what's hard for people to do, is just relax a little bit. You're always on the go. You always got to be doing something. But yeah, take a chill pill and see how that feels.
Right.
A spiritual chill pill, no drugs or anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Thanks for the clarification.
Yeah. So I just hope everybody has a wonderful weekend. Do something nice for yourself. Do something you wouldn't normally do. And also do something nice for someone else too. Just something simple, or a little favor, or something that, nobody had to ask you to do. Just do something nice for someone else, and be kind to yourself, and know that you are in the right place at the right time, doing the right things. And even if it doesn't feel that way, it's okay. That it will pass. It will pass. So.
Oh, Lucky! If you use lemon on your hands, it'll get the smell out.
A little citrus on that one.
He's up there at 1022.
Oh, okay. Yes, you can tune a piano, but you can't tune a fish. I love that group. That was I remember that. Oh, you're dating
REO Speedwagon.
REO Speedwagon. Had it on my cassette under deck in my Plymouth Valiant, my first car. I had one of those. I went down to Radio Shack, bought that so fast, installed it. And that was one of my first tapes. Yeah.
Cassette tape.
Yeah. Cassette tapes back in the day.
You know
what those are, right, you guys? Do you guys know what those are?
I do.
I've seen them.
Oh, you've seen them? Oh, God. Then do you even know what an LP is? A record?
8-track tape.
I got it.
I
bought her a record for her birthday one time.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. That's what we listened to when I was a kid. It was a record player. I used to listen to like Walt Disney movies, and the whole soundtrack to the movie, you could buy it on an LP and listen to it. I mean, that was the closest we got. We didn't have, pictures and things that you could just look at. You had to use your imagination. Yeah. Crazy stuff.
8-track tapes. Did you have that, Laurie?
Yes, and you always had to have the book of matches in there, otherwise it played the second track.
Yeah.
Flip side. Yeah, I had those. Yeah. I remember when cell phones came out.
Me too.
And I had the Motorola flip phone, the big old flip. Yeah, I remember that. So yeah, growing up in the 60s, I pretty much grew up with all the technology and everything that's happened. It's been amazing. Yeah, we've actually just grown and gone with it. I remember the computers where you were using DOS and DOS commands. And if you signed on to, you had online, right? You dialed up through your modem, through the phone line.
Yeah.
Wait for that beep, beep, beep. And then you knew you were connected. Yeah.
Man.
Crazy. Yeah. Things that make you go,
Back there too.
Yeah. Well, listen, you guys, thanks for popping on with me and chit-chatting and having some fun. So appreciate you all. Look forward to seeing you all next week. We'll see what that comes up with and how that plays out. Until then, peace, love, and joy to everyone out there. Take care.